Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be talking about serialization and deserialization, and we're going to also be talking about why we really need it. Okay. Basically, the way we have written this our program, the class account and the user account. Imagine if we want to send this information. Imagine we want to send this information. I, let's say I let's say I want to okay, now this information that I have created here, okay, I created the account number and the account balance, and in case I want to send this account object across network, or I want to share it with someone else, I want to share it with a file or something. Basically, some of this data you create, you have to share it over the network, over the internet, share with somebody else. So now it would be, in case you can also want to share it with other applications that was not written in that programming language. The application might be written in Java, JavaScript, and Python, Go, C#, C++. Now, the thing is this: there is a common standard, there's a standard, a common way of sharing such data. All right, that is called JSON. You can also use XML, but basically JSON has been popping up, and JSON has been the most preferred option, okay, to transfer information or transfer data like this. Now, when you start creating applications, there is no way you will not use JSON. There is no way you will not send information across the network, or get information across the network, or want to share your data with another application. There is no way, unless what you're creating is not going to be a very good and useful application. Now, that is the reason why I want to mention serialization and deserialization, especially in that, okay? Now, but first of all, you need to understand what is JSON, okay? This is not a class about JSON. I'm just going to give a brief introduction into JSON, and JSON stands for JavaScript Objects Notation, okay? It is not basically JavaScript, okay? But it is just a notation for writing JSON object, okay? Now, JSON stands for JSON stands for JavaScript object notation, okay? It's just notation. Now, it's just a format, okay, of data interchange. All right, it's just a format for data interchange. And how does a JSON object looks like? All right, I'm just trying to throw this. I want to throw light on this and talk a little about JSON, so that when I talk about this serialization and deserialization, you're going to understand what I mean. Now, JSON objects look like something like this. I would also need to use comments so that we will not have any issues there. So it starts with a curly braces like this. All right. Okay. It starts like this, and then it can now have name value pairs. Like, let's say I would say we have here, I can say number, and the value will be separated by colon like this, okay? And the value can be anything, all right? Comma, another one, I can have, sorry about that. I'm just trying to put this in comments so that we don't have any errors here. So I can also have another one like balance, okay? And I can have something like this. All right. Now, so this is what a JSON object looks like. Maybe, of course, if I remove this, it would give us error. That is why. But let me make it so that you can really see what it looks like. Okay, so just forget about the errors. Okay, please forget about the errors. But this is what a JSON object looks like. A curly braces like this. Okay, the opening, the start and the end curly braces like this. Then the name value pair. This is a pair. The name of the property and the value separated by a colon like this. Okay, so now the thing is this: if you want to transfer this your data, this your account object, okay, if you want to transfer it to another application to use, or to send it to another application to use over the internet, or however you want to transfer the data, and you want to transfer it in a JSON format, you need to serialize, okay? Although that has a special way of doing it, or when we talk about maps, okay, we'll see talk about maps. When we talk about maps, we are going to talk more on this too. But I need you to understand that I want you to do this yourself so that you can really understand this when it comes, okay? Now, we need to find a way to serialize this our account object or our user object, okay? So we need to find a way to serialize it. And one of the ways you can actually do it is, let me take this off, okay, so that we don't get those errors again. Now, one of the ways you can actually do it is when we come to this account class, all right, we already have a toString method like this, okay? Now, when we say serializing, you know, the JSON, all right, most of the applications that might be using your JSON object, let's say I want to send this JSON object to another application over the internet, that application will be reading it as a string. So if I also want to get any data from any application or maybe over the internet, I would have to read it like a string. But for that has a way, there is a package for converting from JSON to maps. We'll talk about that later. But I just want you to understand the concept of serialization and deserialization, okay? Now, if you want to serialize your class object or your class object, just like we have the account object now, because you would want to transfer it to another application to use or transfer it over the internet, you need to serialize it. And when we say serialization like this, it's as simple as creating a string representation of this JSON object. Now, we can actually do it here. Okay, we can just change this our function here. We can just change this string here to represent a JSON string, but there is a better way of doing that. What we can do right now is we can just create another method. We can just say the return type is going to be a string, and then we'll just call it to JSON. Okay, now what this function is going to do is that it is going to return something that a string that looks like a JSON object. I believe you understand methods. We have talked about functions, okay? This is just a simple function inside this account method, okay? Now, I can just return something that looks like a JSON object inside of my string like this. Now, remember, a JSON starts with this braces like this. Okay, this curly braces like this. And inside of it, you will now have key value pairs. All right. Now, the key right here would be, I'll call it account balance. I'll call it account balance. Okay, I will need to use, let me use this so that we don't get confused here. Okay, all right. I call it account balance, and I give, remember now, name value pair would have a colon in between them. So what would be the value? The name is account balance, and the value would be what? The value would be this account balance that we have here. Do you understand it? Okay, but I think let me start with account number first. Anyhow you do it, no problem. But I will just have to. Now the thing is, when you have key value pairs like this, you separate them with a comma, right? You remember you saw the one I did before. I separated them with a comma. Okay. Now you separate them with a comma and say bring in your key value, the next key value pair, which should be the account name. It should be the account number, and the value will be the value will be separated by this colon, and I will have the value from the account number. So Right now, this is a valid JSON string. Okay, I have converted this into a JSON string. So any application that wants to use this my account class now, all right, would have to call this method. Okay, so when we come down here and I just want to get the JSON representation of this my account, I will have to do account dot to JSON. And when I run this code, all right, when I run this code, you're going to see that we are going to get a JSON string. We are going to get a JSON string, okay? A JSON string representation. Now, this is a valid JSON object. So, but it is in a form of a string. So, every application, every programming language has, like JavaScript has a method for passing JSON strings like this. Java, every programming language has a way of converting it to JSON so that they can now use it like they are using the account object. I hope you really understand what I'm trying to say here. But if you don't worry. All right, as we go on, you get to understand better. And if you don't, drop a comment. Let me know what you don't understand, okay? So that I can even throw more light on it, okay? So this is a valid JSON. Remember that a JSON starts with a double with these curly braces like this. It will have name value pairs. Okay, it will have name value pairs separated by comma like this, and separated by colon. Name value pairs separated by colon. But if you now have multiple name value pairs, it will be separated by a comma. So I can have another one like this. Let's say age, and then the value will be 78. And here I can say salary, whatever the name is. Okay, whatever the name is. Okay, so this is a valid JSON now. So compare this and this. You can see this is a valid JSON, but it is in a string. Okay, so JavaScript has a way of passing it every language. So in case I want to share this my object now with other application, or I want to send it over the internet, I would need this JSON. So in a way, this might not be a sophisticated one, but in a way, I have serialized this JSON object, this account object. I have serialized it. So let me now show you what it looks like to deserialize, okay? The deserialization will be from the other end, okay? Whoever is going to use this my JSON object, okay? So whoever is going to use this my JSON object might have a function like this. Instead of to JSON, I can say from JSON, okay? I can say from JSON, okay? And I would expect a JSON string as a method, as a parameter, and I will just say JSON string, okay? Now, once I get this, I can actually now convert it to an account, okay? So how can I do this right now? What would I do here is this. Once I get this JSON string, all right, that is going to be in this format, I can now deserialize it. I can now write my logic inside here. Okay, so basically, I just want you to get the concept. We might not be using this right now, but I want you to get it because in case you say it anywhere. All right, so however I want to use this string that comes in, I would might just want to say print, and I will print it, or I might just write logic here to convert it. I might just say print this JSON string, and that will be it. So I'll have to, it's not returning a string. Okay, so this is a way I can use this. I can write my logic inside here. Okay, logic goes in here. Do you understand? However I want to use it, but that is not the point of this video. All right, I can just maybe find the okay, this is how I'm going to use it. I can just maybe break these things down. I can just split the strings and it will confuse you more because that's not what we are doing here, and it will take a longer time than I intended for this video to take. So Now, my logic can just go here, however I want to use this JSON string, but right now I'm just printing it out. So this is how the other program can use your JSON object, all right? And this is how you can also use other people's JSON object when they come as a string. So when I say, when I do this, I have this JSON, I can, since I have a function there, I can just say account dot from JSON, and I will now use this account.json, to JSON. This to JSON returns a string. So this is how I could use it. This is how I could use it. So I now got the JSON string inside this my from JSON object, and I can do whatever I want to do with it. But right now I just want to print it out. So if I run this, I will just get the same JSON string inside here. So what I'm trying to make sure you understand here is serialization and deserialization. As a developer, okay, that want to develop applications, you would have to understand serialization and deserialization. And you also have to understand JSON. JSON is a full tutorial on its own, okay, but we are not going to go in depth. Okay, so I just try to bring this to your notice. Okay, so if you don't understand it, if you have any confusion, please drop your comments in the comment section and let me help you out. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.